My dear girls of Honor Second Year, hope you are safe and sound by the blessings of Almighty and are following your online classes regularly. Here I am Shamima Nastintini welcoming you to my online class. In the previous class, we have read the poem To a Skylark up to stanza 8. Today I am going to start my class with stanza 9. In this class, I will give you only the summary of stanza 9 to 21 without reading the text because the poem is large enough. So, my dear girls, at first we have stanza 9 to 12. In the first stanza, the poet compares the bird's song to the sweet strains of lovelorn music, which a high-born maiden sings as she sits alone in her far-away palace tower, and soothes her love-afflicted soul by her music. The sweetness of her song overflows her bower. The picture of lovelorn princess's confinement in a far-away palace tower singing sweet love songs takes us into a world of romance and wonder. Then in the next stanza 10, the poet compares the bird with a glowworm. So as a glowworm scatters its light all around, likewise the skylark also scatters its sweet song all around. Then the poet refers or compares the skylark as a rose. When a rose is concealed in its bower of leaves, the wind scatters sweet fragrance of the rose all around. Likewise, the wind also scatters the sweet song of the skylark all around. My dear girls, now we have stanza 12 to 14. Here the poet tries to convey the idea that the skylark song is so sweet and so soothing that it surpasses all the earthly things in joy and loveliness. It is more delightful than the gentle petals of the flowers that are opening under the soft spring rain. Then the poet makes a comparison between the bird song and the songs of love, songs of marriage, and songs of victory in war. And the poet says that songs, like all other songs, are dull in comparison with the bird song. Shelley's search for ideal love and happiness is perfectly fulfilled by the bird of his poetic creation. Now we have stanza 15 to 17. In the stanza number 15, the poet is quite suspicious or willing to know that what is the true source of the bird's song. When the poet questions that what inspires the skylark's song. Then the poet questions that what inspires the bird's song. Was it a kind of beautiful object of nature, or was it a kind of love or ignorance of the human sufferings? Then the poet says that, think not of them. Whatever the source of its strain is, it is certain that the bird is a perfect stranger to the languor. Here languor means tiredness and pain that the human being faces on earth. The skylark knows nothing of sorrow. It is a spirit of happiness and joy. Then in the next stanza, the poet conveys the idea that the bird knows more about the mystery of life and death than we know. And that's why the bird's song is clear and free from the touch of sadness. So now we have stanza 18 to 21, the last stanzas. In the stanza number 18, the poet wants to say that human being always craves for happiness that is impossible to attain. Then the poet says that the songs which deal with our sad thoughts, our sadness, is in the real sense that songs are called the sweetest songs. In stanza 19, the poet says that even if man's life is one of joy and happiness, and even if man's life is free from any kind of pride, any kind of fear, and any kind of hatred, then his songs perhaps would not be so sweet as the bird's song. Then in the next two stanzas, the concluding stanzas, the poet says that the bird's song is better than all the wisdom that are inscribed in the books. Hence the poet appeals to the bird for a kind of portion of his joy, because the poet can attain half of the gladness. Because if the poet can attain half of the gladness like the bird, then the poet might capture the heart of all men all over the world, as he is enraptured by the skylark's song. So, the underlined idea of this poem is, as a revolutionary poet, Shelley wants to awaken the mankind. He wants to break the conventional dogmas or shackles and tries to bring out a new dawn of rationality. So that's the main theme of the poem. My dear girls, I think that I am able to make you understand the poem. Thank you very much for watching my class. Bye for now.